Hey, my friends, this is Henry Sanders back with another episode of Real Talk. We want to thank our sponsors at Park Bank. Thank you for Facebook Project Journalism. Thank you for everything we're doing. Check out our Wisconsin Leadership Summit coming up October 5th through the 9th. Check that out. We have a special guest, and we just found out that he has Badger blood in him. His daughter just graduated from UW. He has family from UW. This is a man... We're going to give him a family welcome. We're going to give him a family welcome because he has some family here. Mr. Tom Peréz, the DNC chair, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's always great to be with folks in Madison. Yes, my daughter graduated in May. My wife went there, and 3 of her siblings went there. So we have a lot of Badger blood in our family, and Wisconsin is a great state.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this for us, and we are excited that you have a Badger blood for us. So let me get this. So the DNC was in Milwaukee this year, but it wasn't really in Milwaukee because of COVID-19. It was a virtual, by the way. It was a great convention. It was great. I thought it was entertaining, powerful. But is there a way we can get you back here in 2024 in Milwaukee to get you back? I mean, everyone in Wisconsin was really excited about the convention being here. And I know this wasn't your fault, but is there a way to get you guys back in 2024, you thinking?
Well, we had a great relationship with the city of Milwaukee, and there's no one more disappointed than Joe Biden and frankly, Tom Peréz, that the pandemic forced us to take certain actions, and the protection of the safety of Wisconsinites was always our North Star. And we did have a spectacular convention. It was an unconventional convention, but an inspirational convention. And we used it as an opportunity to organize not only in Wisconsin, but elsewhere. And people responded. The resilience of Milwaukee and Wisconsinites was on full display. The decisions on 2024 will be made by whoever my successor is. And so I really can't speak for what will happen there. But what I can speak for is that we chose Milwaukee because Milwaukee and Wisconsin reflect the values of, I think, the Democratic Party in America, the values of resilience, the values of diversity, the values of trade unionism. And that's what Milwaukee's about. We know that the road to success for Joe Biden goes through Wisconsin, and our organizing there, notwithstanding the pandemic, is proceeding at a fever pace and pitch. And I'm leaving nothing to chance, but we're very hopeful. We're organizing in every zip code, and we've been organizing, frankly, for 3.5 years in Wisconsin.
Which leads me to my next question. You know, in 2016, Trump won, Senator Clinton did not, and one of the knocks was that the senator was not here a lot. And I remember when President Obama, then Senator Obama, ran, he was here all the time. It felt like he was our neighbor. Well, I guess he was from Illinois, so I guess he is our neighbor. What can you do? What did you guys learn from 2016 for now? Even though COVID-19 changes the game. But what can you do now to make sure that Wisconsinites feel your presence?
Hey, we lost by roughly 22,000 votes, and we left votes on the table. There wasn't any doubt about it. And we started organizing in 2017 because we understood that we had to build relationships, and we have become an every year, everywhere party. And it's not just organizing in Dane County and Milwaukee County. It's organizing in every county. And you look at 2018, we swept the statewide races. And it wasn't simply that we did well in Milwaukee and Madison. It's that we did well and held our own everywhere. And why is that? Well, healthcare was on the ballot in 2018, and it's on the ballot again in 2020. And Wisconsinites with pre-existing conditions want to know who's going to have their back. Wisconsinites want to know who's going to make sure that they can keep their coverage, and it's Democrats. It's Governor Evers, and this year it's Joe Biden. It's Kamala Harris. Quite literally, the healthcare is on the ballot on November 3rd, and healthcare is on the docket of the Supreme Court November 10th. They want to take away coverage for people with pre-existing conditions, the Republicans and Donald Trump. And they've been relentless. You remember 2017, they tried to kill Obamacare and they failed. And so now they're trying to do another end run by going to the Supreme Court, trying to get judges who are going to overturn Obamacare. And you know what? The most important thing we can do is vote in November, elect Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, flip the Senate, In 2018, reelecting Tammy Baldwin was huge. And in 2022, we're going to have a Democrat to augment we're going to have a second Democrat from Wisconsin to augment our Senate majority that we're going to get this year. So we got a lot of work to do, but I'm confident that the work that we have done, you have a great party chair, Ben Wickler, does great work. Almost 300,000 doors knocked on last year. I keep getting asked, well, how do you communicate with people in the world of COVID? Well, we've been communicating with people for quite some time. And so we simply changed our method of communication. When you are an every year, everywhere party, a pandemic is a challenge, but it's a surmountable challenge. And you saw in April, Harry, you saw what we did. We out-hustled them in that state Supreme Court race. We out-organized them. We talked to voters. We educated them on how to vote absentee, and we kicked butt in that election. And we haven't stopped.
You have a lot of energy. All that passion is just coming through this. I mean, I hope the voters are as passionate as you are about what's going on.
I'm passionate about healthcare, and I'm passionate about an America that works for everyone. I'm passionate about criminal justice reform. I'm passionate about an economy where everyone has a fair shake. And we've got 4 crises right now. We've got the pandemic. We've got the economic collapse. We've got a civil rights crisis. We've got a climate crisis. And the common denominator is a president who's in over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. He ignores the coronavirus. He pretends it's over. He calls a mask a political symbol. A mask is a public health imperative. It's not a political symbol. We need to replace Donald Trump. The institutions of our democracy are on the ballot. This is a president who's now saying, I'm not sure I'm going to allow power to be transferred. That's a distraction. And you shouldn't allow that.
That leads me to 2 questions, because what you just said is powerful. But one, as the Democrats like to be known as the big umbrella party that has all these people underneath it, and Black Lives Matters is the thing that people are talking about right now. So how do you deal with Black Lives Matters and at the same time don't ignore the Latino base? Like in Wisconsin, the Hmong population is the 3rd highest in the country. So how do you not ignore them also by also dealing with the Black Lives Matter? Because all of them are important for the Democrats to win an election.
We have a president who has disrespected everyone. We have a president who has, in the aftermath of George Floyd, is saying, well, there's not, the Attorney General said, I don't think that there's really any need for a comprehensive investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department. Like, what are you thinking? We have a president who's demonized Mexicans from the first day of his campaign. Mexicans are rapists and murderers. Look what he did at the border, separating children from their parents. There's been a dramatic rise in hate crimes against Asian Americans. And when he calls the coronavirus the China virus, there's a direct line correlation between that and challenges that Asian Americans in this country are confronting. This is a president who is using the tactics of George Wallace to try to win re-election. It's not dog whistle politics, because dog whistle politics means it's subtle appeals to race. There's nothing subtle about what Donald Trump does. We need to make sure that when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean it. And that's why this president, that's why Joe Biden, I'm getting ahead of myself. He has a very, very ambitious plan for criminal justice reform. He has an ambitious plan to make sure African-American small business owners have access to capital. He has an ambitious plan to ensure that public education enables everyone in every zip code to get access to the American dream. That's what we're about. And everything we care about as a nation is on the ballot this November, starting with health care.
Yeah. Last question here, Chair. If you mentioned the election and the president saying that he might not give it up. That might happen where he's looking at ways that he can circumvent the system. Is that a concern to you? And what would you tell the voters to give them some peace, to let them know that, hey, look, winner takes all. The winner will take in, the loser will leave.
I have 2 things to say to voters about that. Number one, we have the most robust voter protection operation that we've ever had in politics. The Biden campaign, the DNC, other players in the Democratic ecosystem. We are ready. We've won lawsuits in Wisconsin. We just won another one within the last week to make sure that people can vote and their votes are counted. So we are ready for that. We are ready for every contingency. Here's the second thing I would say, and it is as important, which is you have so much control, folks. Make a plan. Get out there and vote. The best antidote to what Donald Trump is saying is for us to have record turnout. Here's the deal. Wisconsinites have better options this year on voting. You can vote in person. You can vote the day of the election. You can vote absentee. And as long as your ballot is postmarked by Election Day and received within a week, it will count. We have been a plaintiff in that case. We are expanding that right to make sure that your votes are counted. The more options people have, the more people vote. That's why we fight to make sure everybody has options. And the other side doesn't want people to have options. Why? Because they want less people to vote. Republicans believe that their leverage in election goes up as they suppress the vote. So don't let them do it. Make a plan. Everybody has control over what they do. And don't wait till November 2nd to make a plan. If you decide you want to vote absentee, you can do it right now. If you want to vote early in person, check around and get those rules. You can start voting not too long from now in person. But make sure you vote and make sure you take responsibility. Every single person listening, take responsibility for getting 10 people you know who are eligible to vote. Get them out to vote because our democracy as we know it is on the ballot.
Well, thank you, sir, for joining us, and we wish you luck. And coming in November, you have a busy next 30-some days.
38.
38, to be exact. He does know, right?
38 days till the weekend, okay?
And we appreciate you coming on. Tell all your family, those Badgerites, we love them. They always have a home with us at Mass 365.
And please make sure all your listeners know, if any questions about voting, you got one-stop shopping, iwillvote.com. Just go to iwillvote.com. You can check your registration status. You can figure out how to get a ballot. You can figure out where your precinct is if you want to vote in person or you want to vote early. One-stop shopping, really easy, iwillvote.com. And if you know people who would prefer to go in Spanish, just go to voyavotar.com. Real simple.
Thank you, sir, and we wish you well. Thank you for joining us on Real Talk, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
This is 365 Media.